Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of your 2015 New York International Auto Show on BeTerrific. We're here today and tomorrow. And then, of course, you can come here if you're in New York or the New York area anytime from April 3rd to April 12th. You know, it's just an amazing experience here. You see cars that you've never seen before. You see cars that you have seen or heard about or read about. You get to get in them. You get to check them out. You get to touch them. You get to find out about the specs, and you get to have fun because cars are amazing. They really are. And you know what? I'm excited because Jim from Volvo is here. Volvo is a great car company. You guys innovate a lot of safety features. You have stylish cars. I think you've come really into your own in the last 20 years even. Because in the 80s, the knock was, Volvo, we're boxy, but we're good. I think the movie was Crazy People, that line came out. And it was kind of the truth, but they were like the safest cars. They had the best safety record. Now you've got really stylish cars, and they're still safe, and you're innovating with safety. And I love, like, the center consoles are slim, and they have space behind them, and it's not a whole dashboard. You've got all sorts of different things going on, and you've got the S series, the C series, the V series. Is that correct?
The V series, the XC series.
The XC series,
yes.
So, tell me what's new at Volvo.
Well, there's a lot that's new at Volvo. We, of course, are still moving towards our Vision 2020, which is that no one should be seriously killed or injured in a new Volvo by the year 2020.
I love that idea.
So it's a very bold statement. It's something that we very much believe in. And if you look at the history of Volvo, we've always been known for building safe cars. And it's because our founders had said that cars are driven by people, and since they're driven by people, safety needs to be the #1 priority. So everything is designed around the people that are in the vehicles. And what we've come to now is not only is it, of course, a safe vehicle, but it's also a fun vehicle to drive, and it's also a stylish vehicle, much to your point. So what we're seeing now with our XC90 is a whole slew of new technologies.
So that's an SUV.
That's an SUV. It's the world's first 7-seater plug-in hybrid SUV. It gets incredible mileage.
7-seater plug-in hybrid SUV with safety features, and it's a plug-in hybrid, so it gets incredible mileage. So an SUV, they range from like the lowest being like 8 to 10 miles a gallon, to the highest maybe, I don't know what.
Well, MPGe, so the electric equivalent, we're able to get to 59 miles per hour electric equivalent according to the European drive cycle.
Miles per gallon, wow.
That's
59.
Right, 59. And so that's
amazing.
It's 7 seats, that's a lot of people to move for not a lot of fuel.
That's unbelievable. I was going to say the best I've heard might be 40.
Sure.
And you said 59.
59. So that's the benefits that you have with a plug-in electric hybrid. You can drive an all-power mode if you want within short distances, so up to upwards of 25 miles in range. You can drive in just pure electric and then recharge. Or if you need to go further, or you decide that you want to be in the hybrid mode, you can change it with gas. The key is giving the driver the choice.
So let's say I'm in New York City, or in the New York metro area. I'm sitting in traffic. 25 miles is pretty far in New York. How long would the charge last? Because I'm sitting in traffic.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of variables that go into that. It depends on the temperature.
I've got the air conditioning going. It's summer.
Right.
I've got the radio going.
Yeah.
You know what? Occasionally I'm charging my phone.
Right. Well, you know, we've always had start-stop technology where when you do come to that point, even in our existing vehicles, the engine will shut off and it will go into just all-electric mode in order to save gas. So it's an area that we've been in for quite a while. As far as the pure electric mode, we're waiting to hear back from the EPA about what their official certifications are on the ranges, because we've certainly done tests.
But I mean, in your tests, what do you think is reasonable to say, okay, I'm in New York City, how far can I make it in electric if I'm in 2 hours of traffic to cross town?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. A lot that goes into that equation. So it's very difficult to say, because there could be, like you said, you could be running the air conditioner. It could be cold outside. It could be hot outside. There's a lot of different variants.
The good news is that if I do run out of electric,
you got the motor. It will switch over automatically, and you can also go into battery save mode.
Sure.
Where if you get to a point where you want to start to conserve the power, you can go into a different mode where the engine will then kick in, and then you have a different variance between electric and gas. And of course, also, the brakes try to regenerate electricity. The car itself can recharge the battery up to 40% of the battery's capacity.
Up to 40%?
Yes.
That's the best I've heard.
It's well, it's important because you want to be able to get people to get that range, and of course, plugging it in regularly. It only takes 2.5 hours to charge the vehicle fully. Okay. Plugging it in and charging is still very important at night, but still, like you said, you have those driving conditions where you need to either save the power or you want to switch over to fuel. It all comes down to what the driver prefers. What kind of consciousness do they want to drive in? Do they want to be pure electric, or do they want the gas? What makes them more comfortable? Because that's the way of getting people to be comfortable with plug-in electric vehicles, but also comfortable with semi-autonomous features.
Now, how do I plug this into my house? Do I got to buy the thing and have the electrician come and install it, or can it go into a regular outlet?
Well, it can be charged off of a 110, which is considered a classic outlet. Of course, the time for that is going to be much longer. It's going to be about twice what a 220 would be. 220 is commonly what you see with the dryers. Yeah. So most homes, most modern homes, do have that 220 capacity.
I would say any home that has a dryer has that capacity.
Yeah, exactly. So most of them have that capacity, and there are chargers that can be bought and installed.
Sure, that are even quicker.
In the garage that are quicker, that'll get that. So it really depends on what kind of lifestyle you want. Are you okay with the longer charge time and using what's existing, or make a small investment and charge it for a much shorter time period?
Now, that's the XC90.
Yes.
This is the SUV. What are we talking about price-wise about? What's the range?
Well, we haven't really released the pricing yet on our XC90 hybrid version.
Sure, but the XC90 is out.
The XC90, the non-hybrid version. Sure. So it comes in a hybrid version and a non-hybrid version. The hybrid version is known as T8. That will be available in late summer. The XC90 T6, which is using our 4-cylinder turbocharged and supercharged engine. That is going to be in dealers coming in May.
You have two models, the turbocharged and versus the supercharged?
No, the T6 is a turbocharged. It's a dual charge. It's a turbocharged and a supercharged.
I thought that was like physically impossible.
No, not with Volvo engines. Not with our new driving
engines.
Really?
Because isn't one forcing more air in, and the other one is or pulling more air in, and the other one's pushing more air out?
Well, they're used in two different ways. I mean, the turbocharge helps get you power on the top end.
Sure.
Right. So when you're trying to accelerate on the highway and you want to get the extra power to go past, that's where the turbocharge. The supercharge helps on the low end with torque.
Right.
So that's in the in that very beginning, and what we've been able to develop with our new driving engines is that seamless shift between the supercharger and the turbocharger.
A supercharger and a turbocharger.
Yes.
This is like a dream.
Yeah, and what's amazing is the power that you're able to get out of a 4-cylinder engine.
Which also gets good gas mileage.
It gets great gas mileage, but we're talking in excess of 300 horsepower with our T8.
300 horsepower off a 4-cylinder?
Yes, and with our T8, when we pair it with our electric engine, we're able to get up to 400 horsepower in our dual engine. So the amount of power that we're able to get out of our new Drive-E engines is incredible. And that's something that is in the XC90 now. It's available in our existing line, our 2015 and a half line. And in 4 years, the XC90 is going to become the oldest vehicle in our fleet. Wow. We are going to be going through the next 4 years and redoing every vehicle in our fleet with these new Drive-E engines.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Talk about the other cars you have. You know what I miss about the old days of Volvo? I miss the headrest that had you could see through the headrest. The slots.
Yes.
And I miss, they had this shift knob for automatics. You'd push down the center. It was like a square center, leather kind of on the outsides or molded plastic depending on the model. And you push down the center and pull back. That was super cool.
Well, our new shifter in the T8s, there's a crystal shifter that lights up at night, which is beautiful. It's hand-blown crystal. And another option as well is you have to turn on the vehicle, you have an interesting kind of turn knob, which is a nice little design in the center stack.
I'm so into shift knobs. Why? Is that a guy thing?
I think it might be. I'm not going to go into your predilection with shift knobs.
No. I'm comfortable in saying that I'm into shift knobs. I could tell you, I had a Momo shift knob on my first car was a Wrangler. I replaced the standard Jeep shift knob with a Momo, and then I had an NSX, and there was some carbon fiber shift knob.
Right.
And I went back to I replaced the standard shift knob with a carbon fiber one, but the standard one was beautiful leather, this little tight little ball, and I wound up going backwards.
You should check out the new crystal, hand-blown crystal from Sweden. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Wow, that's very cool. And so the other cars, tell me about the other cars. You have the sedan.
Yep, we have our sedans, our classic sedan, which is the S60.
Yeah.
And of course we have the S80, which is our larger sedan.
Sure.
And now what we just announced is the S60 Cross Country. So that'll be coming in the late summer months. And so what the S60 Cross Country is it's still a sedan, but it's based on a wagon kind of body and styling. So it has a much higher ground clearance. So it's I like to call it the weekend warrior car. It's for someone that lives in a city environment that still likes to go out on weekends and do the kayaking, do the biking, that wants to go on soft road, off-road conditions, that wants to go to the ski slopes and things like that. This car will be able to handle it, all-wheel drive. But when you're in the city, it's still a sedan. Easy to park, easy to maneuver, gives you the same versatility as what other larger either SUVs or even some larger wagons would be. So the S60 Cross Country is one of our new sedans that'll be coming out that we're very excited about.
Growing up in the New York area, I learned how to park on the left before I learned how to park on the right, because New York City, a lot of times you're finding the spaces people don't want to take because they're on the left.
That's right.
What is your favorite car in the lineup?
Right now, the XC90 is a beautiful car. Even I'm not able to get one right now to drive. So what I'm currently driving is a V60 Cross Country, which is...
It's not bad.
It's a beautiful vehicle. It's our new wagon. It's built off the classic XC90, which is commonly known just as the Cross Country, which is a large wagon that we've had for quite a while. And the V60 Cross Country, again, is the type of vehicle where you can go off-road. It has hill stability, hill descent, so you can throw a kayak, you can throw bikes on it, you can have that active lifestyle, but still has that urban appeal. You're not going to look funny getting it valeted at a fancy restaurant. It really fits both models.
What about safety features? Walk me through. You guys have a lot of great safety features. Walk me through some of them.
So, safety, of course, has always been paramount for us. And one of the things that's unique about Volvo is city safety, which is our auto braking feature, is standard across all of our vehicles. We don't generally believe that safety should be an option. Safety should be standard. So what it has an array of sensors and cameras where it's able to detect pedestrians, or it's able to detect other vehicles. Of course, warn the driver. In certain models, if you're departing from the lane, it will steer you back into the lane.
Wow, steer you back in.
Steer you back into the lane, so that's our lane keeping aid. It will be able to pick up the lines in the road and know when you're starting to depart.
What if there's another car there and that's why you started to move? Will it know that there's now a vehicle there?
It'll give you a warning. It'll give you a proximity warning that there's something in the area and try to bring you back. Because the goal is really to give the driver as much warning as possible before the vehicle will take over. So what will happen is if the vehicle deems that an incident is imminent, what it will attempt to do is it'll attempt to brake the vehicle as much as possible. So
that's funny, because I usually accelerate when I feel like no.
Well, no, but see, that is one of the reasons why. If you look at a lot of the auto braking technology that's coming out, I'm not certain what all the distances are for other manufacturers, but Volvo, we come really close to whatever the object is in braking. And we do that on purpose because we want to eliminate false auto braking as much as possible.
Right.
Because if the vehicle false auto brakes too much, we're concerned that people are then going to turn off those safety features.
Sure.
And we want those safety features to be available for anyone and not annoy the driver.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I like Volvo. I like the styling. And I think you guys do a great job with safety. And I know it starts on the outside of the car, some of the features you're talking about, but also in the crumple zones, the way the car takes impact, unfortunately, when you have an impact. So.
That's right. I mean, our new XC90 is going to be 40% boron steel, which is the hardest, best, strongest steel that you can get. We've had other manufacturers that are coming in trying to figure out how our engineers were able to get this type of molding in our safety cages.
Wow.
So everything from the safety cages down to the technology, down to the crumple zones, how the vehicle is able to absorb an impact, because again, in all scenarios, technology may not be able to prevent an accident, but we can certainly mitigate the impacts of an accident. And I think one example of that is our run-off-road technology in the XC90. The vehicle can identify when the car is leaving the roadway. It will attempt to bring the vehicle back on the roadway, but if the forces are too great, it's specifically designed where your seat belts are pre-charged, so to keep people in the seat to help prevent whiplash. But it also has special brackets in the seat, because what happens, you go off-road, all that pressure is absorbed by your lower back. It's a real problem with back injuries when the vehicle leaves the roadway. So now our new seats are designed to absorb all of that pressure, so that instead of going into you, all of those forces will go into the seat or other features of the car.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Very, very good. I like that.
It's a very important part of our engineering, because we're very committed to our vision, which is that no one should be killed or seriously injured in a new Volvo by 2020.
You think that this is a reality?
It is. Our engineers have been through the numbers. I mean, since the 1960s, out in Gothenburg, which is where we're based in Sweden, we've had teams that have been dispatching to every accident within a certain mile radius to just study how incidents on the roads happen.
And you think by 2020, realistically, you believe this, that there could be no serious or fatalities from in a Volvo?
That's our vision. Our vision is to get there with our technology and also with the structure of our vehicles.
Well, I mean,
and it's a great mission to have. It's a very proud mission
I
to
want
have.
to tell you something. You can't say anything better. That should be like literally, and I know you've put it everywhere, but that should be it, because literally, like, I have a son, he's 22 months old,
sure.
And I didn't care what the price of the car seat was for him. I just wanted the safest car seat. And I studied and studied and studied, and really what it came down to was steel reinforced,
right?
And the fact that in this country they give a pass-fail rating, so you don't know how it does.
Sure.
If you looked at the seats that are tested in Europe, there were only 2 that were tested in Europe that were the same seats that were here,
right? And
this got the highest grade in Europe. It passed here, obviously, and it was steel reinforced. And again, it was all about safety.
Right.
So to me, this is the biggest endorsement you guys can have is, hey, we're going to have no fatalities, no serious incidents in Volvos by 2020.
I mean, that's our goal, and that's what the benefit of being a global automaker is.
Yeah.
You talk about the kind of what's available in Europe versus what's available in the US. A Volvo is Volvo all across the world. So the vehicles that are being manufactured in Sweden and Belgium right now are coming over here. It has the same safety features. There's no change between a car driving on the roads in the United States. Some minor regulatory things,
sure.
But a car that's driving in the United States is the same as one that's going to be driving in Europe.
Please make it happen.
Well, that's what we've been doing. It's our aim. It's our goal. We've been working 80 years towards it, and that is our vision for the future, and everything that we have goes into that. And when you think about a car company and you think about that decision, I like to think about what the mission of that car company is. And here we have 25,000 people that are working towards making vehicles that will have, that no one should be killed or seriously injured in by a certain date. It's a very powerful statement for a company.
I love it. Jim, thank you so much. That's Jim from Volvo. We're going to take a quick break here on your live continuing coverage on BeTerrific of the 2015 New York International Auto Show at the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City. I'm Michael Artsis. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.